Well, hello, and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Manji.
It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch. But there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster, browsing the aisles, picking out a movie by hand, and pretending like you were someone else to avoid paying all the late fees that are already on your account. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me as always, two dudes who wear corduroy jackets in Italy, Sean Pryor and AJ Venz. How the heck are ya?
It was in fashion when I was there. Okay? When Sean and I visited, it was in fashion.
It was.
Everyone was wearing them.
Everyone was like, wow, you guys fit in really well here.
So good.
Wow.
Man, you
Jazz,
guys,
huh?
You
Charlie
guys,
Parker?
Yeah, you guys aren't like extremely white at all.
No.
And with your corduroy and your jazz.
Well, there's one man who's extremely white, and the other man whose left arm is just tan. And
yeah, that's his Italian side.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we dive into one of the most stylish and twisted thrillers of the late 90s. This movie was nominated for 5 Oscars, and it features an absolutely loaded cast. Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, Cate Blanchett, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, all before they were mega stars we know today. Set against the gorgeous backdrop of the 1950s Italy, it's a story of lies, murder, and stolen identities. We're, of course, talking about 1999's The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with the Confused Breakfast.
This is the most Italian shirt
Sit
I have.
back,
Tucci.
relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
Well, thank you for being here. If this is your first time, what we're going to do is we're going to review this movie scene by scene with a modern eye, but we believe that we must first talk about it with pure nostalgia. We're going to go to Sean. It is officially May of Damon, and this was like the one you pushed. You were like, oh, we got to do this one.
We got to do this one.
So what were your thoughts about this nostalgically?
Yeah, I came to this pretty late, but it was, listening to various like movie podcasts that I do. This was, I think, on Junk Food Cinema. They were talking about this. Very cool guys over there. But they were just reviewing this and saying how underrated it was and that how beautiful it looked and how cool of a thriller it was. And before I watched it, I always saw it on the shelves at the video store. And I heard somewhere that like Matt Damon kills a guy in it. And that it always scared me, and like it freaked me out. Maybe I saw a clip on it on like TV or something.
Matt
But
Damon's not a killer.
yeah, exactly. I was just like,
Not my Damon.
not my Damon, And so when I did see it, it kind of blew me away. So I'm gonna give this a very recent nostalgia rating of let's go 7.6.
7.6. AJ, what about you, dude?
The Talented Mr. Ripley. Ripley, believe it or not.
We got it.
There it is.
Believe it or not, I haven't seen this movie.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's about all I had. It was a Ripley's Believe It or Not joke.
Well,
That's good. I'm glad you put it there.
Thanks, man.
well,
Got
thank God.
Got it out of the way.
Thank God it's not just me, because pretty much over the last 20 episodes, it was pretty much just me who's like, haven't seen it. I initially am going into this going, definitely haven't seen this.
Yeah.
And then as I'm watching, I'm like, I kind of remember that. I think it was one of those movies. Was this on TV quite a bit at all?
This
so.
feels like a TBS big hitter.
And I think, to tell you the truth, I think this falls into one of those categories where if a name is dumb, I won't give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is a stupid name. And I think I did have some correlation between Ripley's Believe It or Not. And I'm like, I don't really want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
So I know I've seen parts, but I am definitely not going to give it a rating. I'm going to give it an NA. We have executive producer Starling on the show with us today. He says, I can't remember exactly when I first saw The Talented Mr. Ripley, but it had to be not long after it came out. I was too young to fully appreciate it, but something about it stuck with me. This is my first Matt Damon movie, unless I saw him in Dogma first. Also, sidebar, I just realized Matt Damon played Loki in Dogma and a fake Loki actor in the Thor movies years later. I haven't heard anyone else clock that before, so it's a gold star for me. At the time, Ripley was just a fun thriller, a good-looking movie about good-looking people behaving badly. It was probably a 7, as I know I liked it and would occasionally watch it if I saw it was on. So, Sean, between you and Starling, that's a 7.3. If you're going to look at all the movies we've done nostalgically, a 7.3 is going to be not that great. Yeah. It is All Alone in the 86th spot. We think nostalgically that Pee-wee's Big Adventure is better than this.
Yeah.
But we do think this is better than Cool Runnings.
Oh,
Wow.
Respect.
Yeah, I think one of you guys really hated
That's
bobsledding
racist,
or something
but,
like that. So yeah.
Whatever.
Next up, we got to go to Sean. We got to learn all the important details of the movie. What do you got on this one, dude?
Produced by William Horberg and Tom Sternberg.
The Bergs.
Screenplay by Anthony Minghella, based off the novel by Patricia Highsmith. Music by Gabriel Yared and Bernardo Sassetti. Cinematography by John Seal. He also did BMX Bandits, which I hope we cover one day. Witness, The Hitcher, which I hope we fucking cover one day. City of Angels. Yes. Harry Potter 1. We've covered that movie.
Nice.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh.
Done some good stuff.
Still working.
Yep. Edited by Walter Murch. He did Touch of Evil, Apocalypse Now, Ghost, Cold Mountain, and Jarhead. Very prolific editor. He has a book called In the Blink of an Eye, which is like the book on editing. It's really, really good. Directed by Anthony Minghella. He also did The English Patient and Cold Mountain. Cast: Matt Damon. We're here. Gwyneth Paltrow. Hit us up. Jude Law.
Friend of the show. Friend of the show.
I forgot all about that.
Jude Law, Kate Blanchett, Pish, Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's Pish from here on out.
It's Pish from here on out.
Jack Davenport, James Rebhorn, Sergio Robini, Philip Baker Hall, Celia Weston, and Stefania Rocca. Yep. Director Anthony Minghella felt particularly drawn to the original novel and specifically the themes of identity. Minghella was directing and writing plays and came across a line that described one of his writings that it was like the works of Patricia Highsmith. So Minghella thought he better read some of the author's work. That's when he read Talented Mr. Ripley. Almost 20 years later, friend and producer Sidney Pollack called Minghella and said that he had the rights to the story and asked if he'd be interested. Minghella gladly accepted. It's rumored that Leonardo DiCaprio declined the role of Ripley. Could definitely see him in this.
I think he's one of the only people I could see doing this.
Yeah. Especially at this time, for sure. Like, as young as Matt Damon is, I could totally see him in that. Matt Damon was cast based off his strength in Good Will Hunting, and Minghella was drawn to the actor because he was also a writer of that film, which is coming up in the month, I believe. Good Will Hunting?
No, we're not doing that one.
Wow, okay.
May of Damon without Good Will Hunting.
We were like, May of Damon would give us some really great movies, and then we didn't pick any of them. So
Typical style of the Confused Breakfast.
Jude Law was cast after Minghella saw him in the film The Wisdom of Crocodiles, which is just the most 90s, like, indie darling name of a movie I've ever heard.
Crocodile Tears.
Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow hit us up. Was cast based off her past performances, and she reminded Minghella of Grace Kelly. Production was not easy. When filming on location, the script called for a bright, sunny, and warm day throughout most of the film, but it would be possible. It would be the opposite for most of the shoot, delaying some of the shoot, making the schedule stretch to 90 days. Minghella said later, if you were to ask him if he wanted to return to Italy and the waters of the Mediterranean, he would do so in a heartbeat. If you were to ask him if he would like to return to there while shooting this film, he would say emphatically, absolutely not. The Talented Mr. Ripley was released Christmas Day in 1999, and on a budget of $49 million, the film made $128.8 million at the box office, was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, unfortunately not winning any of them, and is referred to by our friends at Raiders of the Lost Podcast as an underrated masterpiece.
Okay.
Those boys. Oh. Well, AJ, we got to go to you next. We got to learn what the critics and the fans have to say about this movie. What do you got on this one?
The only talent my son has is reading reviews on the Tomato Meter. gross.
Great Matt Damon impression of him doing James Redhorn.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Those are the impressions AJ does best. He doesn't do like De Niro or anything. He's like, no, I do an impression of an actor doing an impression in a movie in a part that you may not know of because you haven't seen the movie.
Yes.
And it's just for 1 minute.
Just that that brief.
The layers of that.
Yeah. It's an onion masterpiece. You got to peel those layers back. So 85% certified fresh. 85%.
Of all the movies we've done, tied with My Cousin Vinny at the 75th spot.
Okay. 80% on the popcorn meter. And we're getting a 7.4 on IMDb.
Tied with a recent movie we did, A League of Their Own, per the fans.
Okay.
Respect. Respects. Raj Ebe coming back from Chi-Town. The movie is as intelligent a thriller as you'll ever see this year. Great, thanks.
You want to go to the theater and think? This is the one.
This is a good one.
But only this year. Next year, there'll be a better one.
Yeah.
Correct. And Hornaday gave it an 88. The Baltimore Sun. The only thing missing from this rich production is an emotional charge, which Highsmith could create on the page, but which Minghella doesn't quite capture on the screen. Still gave it an 88 out of 100.
Okay.
Let's see here. Lawrence Topman, 38 out of 100. The Charlotte Observer. They didn't like it over there in Charlotte. All right. It's ploddingly directed, indifferently acted, and insufficiently frightening.
Okay.
Wait.
Insufficiently frightening.
You know, like your funds, how they're insufficient sometimes?
So there's no frightening in it.
Yeah.
There's not enough frightening for what you thought you were going to get. You maybe got a little bit, but then it overdrafted.
Yeah, it's...
But then does it give you does it still give it to you and then overdraft you, or does it just not give it to you at all?
It was there at one time and now it's not.
I think it depends on how you have your
okay,
account
so
set
let's
up.
say you were promised 10 frightenings, but you go to your account and there's only 7 frightenings in there.
Yeah.
Does that mean you get no frightenings whatsoever because you don't have enough to get it all? Or does it give you 7 and then not give you the 10 that you wanted?
I'm going to kill myself.
That's frightening.
That's sufficient.
Like I say, I think you have to set that up. You have to check the box and set that up like paperless billing.
Got you.
Yeah.
So they can give you all 10, but then they're going to penalize you.
Yes, for 2 after.
taking the okay.
Yeah.
It's this guy's fault.
It's my fault.
It's whoever
No, I
wrote
know.
this review.
I don't blame you at all.
Oh,
no, he did this to us.
You pointed at me like, hey, whoa, I didn't talk about your overdraft fees. This is a 1 out of 10. Boring and waste of time, said Rena Tanjal in 2022. That's true. That's true. Very talented actors, but the whole story is exciting. But then in the end, it's just a nonsense, and the movie ends in a chaotic scene where everything is just confusing. I'm very disappointed. Thumbs down.
It's the whole thing we do every week where it's just like there was no point to it, so I'm gonna take time out of my day to tell people.
I'm gonna let you guys know that these exist. All right. Let's see. Just one more, said Green Irish Eyes. Look at me, Mike. Is this you?
Yeah.
All right.
You got brown eyes, don't you?
It's brown and green.
Hazel.
It's a nice mix.
Hazel.
Beautiful to gaze into.
Yeah. Warning, spoiler. By the end of the film, I was hoping there would be just one more murder. Well, a suicide, actually, as I so desperately wanted Ripley to do himself in. Anything to end this oh-so-dull, boring, awful film. Unfortunately, I was at the theater with friends and couldn't escape until the final dull, boring, awful moment was done.
I was gonna do myself in, but I was with friends. I didn't want to burden them with my body.
Yeah. Then they'd have to carry me out.
Or else I would have.
Yeah. Somebody liked this, right, guys? Well, this person didn't. Theirs was just titled, I wanted to throw up. That's a 1 out of 10 if you couldn't have guessed. Why has this movie been made? I cannot understand. The script is terrible. The acting sucks, especially Matt Damon. And the plot is completely unrealistic. Avoid at all costs. And if you decide to watch it, take a bucket next to you in case you have to throw up.
We always use our popcorn bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the throw.
What do you think would be the specially themed Talented Mr. Ripley popcorn bowl? What do you think it would be?
Oh, it would be the statue Freddy gets hit.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should be a new segment.
I think so.
If we determine what the like Marcus Theater specialized popcorn bowl will
Hell
be.
yeah.
Yes.
Because I
Let's
need to
do
get
it.
my hands on that Jaws one.
Yeah,
Real
that's
bad.
right. Let's see. I'll give you, like I say, somebody thought this is good. This is 10 out of 10. Identity theft is no laughing matter.
You got me.
So, one of the things that I've learned from this movie is that it's best to be a real somebody than a fake nobody. And I didn't understand why Tom Ripley wanted to kill Dick Greenleaf and then take over and do both sides. But then I realized that he was envious of Dick Greenleaf. Call him Dickie. Stop calling him Dick. Did you watch the movie? Anyways. Envious of Dick Greenleaf. And I didn't realize that envy... I didn't realize that envy was and is one of the 7 deadly sins. But there's something else I've learned, and from this movie, and that it is identity theft is no laughing matter.
Was this a comedy? Was this pegged as a comedy?
No.
Yeah. So
No, it
we weren't
wasn't.
supposed to laugh. Cool. Gotcha.
Now I have never committed identity theft at all. But just want to say, I put it out there, okay? But I've been a victim of identity theft in the past a few times, and it can be a living nightmare. This person's literally giving
This person's rating this movie a 1 out of 10 because they had identity theft
Sorry,
in their
folks.
life.
Identity's closed.
Moose out front should have told you.
I told you, identity theft is no laughing matter. He's giving like a genuine, like, guys, I've been through this before.
Remember, if you could
Right?
get LifeLock or something like that,
Yeah.
you really should. It was too late for me, but
Yeah.
you should think about it.
Just consider it, okay? Like, you check the dark web, do a search, see if you're on there. So, well, that's about all I had there. But we have the most important folks
Yes,
that we
Little
care about.
Lebowskis.
Little Lebowski, Urban Achievers, not the Urban Achievers.
Go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. If you want to join in the conversation, you can get the Little Lebowski tier. Not only do you get bonus audio episodes every week, but you also get to have your name and your thoughts on air. Who do we got today?
Guys, Jarrett is in there. We could just change his name to G. Maybe just...
He's a G.
He is a G. I'm going to watch this again. I've only seen it once, but I've got very emotional during that watch.
Wow.
Fair enough. Let's see. Alex Navarro. This is the first time watch for me. Didn't know anything about this movie except that it has Matt Damon and it's called Talented Mr. Ripley. Didn't even read a synopsis or watch a trailer. Went into this completely blind. Started off a bit slow and boring, but once Dickie gets whacked, it really started to pick up. Solid movie, great moments of suspense. I give it a 7.5.
Nice.
All right.
Like that. Walter Fielding. This gorgeous movie made me want to travel. Yeah, for sure. Young Matt Damon, Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and hell, even Pish never looked better. Turns out this movie is a thriller, but that's almost besides the point. Cinematography, sets, costumes, performances are so good. Dickie Greenleaf, Tom Ripley, and Marge could frolic along the Italian Riviera, listening to jazz and drinking martinis, culminating in a three-way with Freddie sitting in the corner, bashing the bishop, and it still wouldn't be... it still would be considered high cinema.
Hell yeah.
8.5. Last, Devin Carlisle. What up, sir? 1970s Texas can be injected into my veins, but almost anything 1950s set in that decade, bend me over and gravy pipe me.
Oh my God. I think everybody was turned on by this movie.
I think so.
Well, yeah.
Everybody's getting sexual.
I know. A great gravy pipe. That's a 50s reference. Great. That's a terminology from back then. Yeah, totally. This is a go-to for me. It was the first movie I watched that made me think perhaps I shouldn't be judgmental about movie posters. And maybe Biodome isn't a masterpiece. I could go on, but to put it simply, it's a photo finish for best performance, expertly portrayed characters by a young ensemble cast with seasoned veterans as well. The noir score peppered throughout is used to perfection in the simplest of ways, and the cinematography is a feast for the eyes. Speaking of feast for the eyes, has a human being ever looked better than Cate Blanchett in this?
Good God.
I have a whole section dedicated to it. So
excellent question. So that's what we got. Little urban, Lebowski urban achievers.
Little urban explorers.
Little urban Lebowski achievers. Thank you guys for jumping in. We love you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've made a very bold choice today. Instead of building a real life of your own, you decided to forge a fake one right here with us. You slipped on your fanciest blazer, faked your credentials, and snuck your way into the glamorous world of the Confused Breakfast podcast. Today, you're not grinding away at work or facing the consequences of your real life. You're dialing in compression, plugging in microphones and headphones, and impersonating three grown men breaking down a movie from 1999. Today, you live like us with charm, lies, and just a touch of murder. Let's break it down scene by scene. Here we go.
All right.
Scene 1, Tom Ripley is a struggling young man in 1950s New York, scraping by with his talents for forgery, impersonation, and lying. One night while working a fancy event, he meets Herbert Greenleaf, a wealthy shipbuilder who mistakenly believes Tom went to Princeton with his son Dickie. Greenleaf offers Tom $1,000 to travel to Italy and convince Dickie to come home. Though Tom has never even met Dickie, he accepts. Arriving in Europe, Tom impulsively pretends to be Dickie Greenleaf when he meets a wealthy heiress named Meredith. Mm-hmm. Did you catch all the adjectives that fly by in that title scene? You know how, I mean, first of all, we'll talk about the title scene, but that thing where it pulls up the title card and it goes, it throws a bunch of adjectives before it lands on talented.
Oh, yeah.
I found it pretty cool that these are the ones that it did. It did mysterious, yearning, secretive, sad, lonely, troubled, confused, loving, musical, gifted, intelligent, beautiful, tender, sensitive, haunted, passionate, talented.
It's everything he is.
Literally he's all of those and none of those.
Yes.
Like, it's just a wildly beautiful intro scene. And I know you guys figured this out, but I did not catch that this opening shot is him at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Until I really got into it.
Only the second time I watched it, I realized that. And he's like kind of, I guess it's once you get through it and you watch it again, you know, it's kind of him at the end recalling everything that happened.
Oh, right.
Happen.
Yeah, because his first line is like, it all started with a jacket. I wish I could take it back. Mm-hmm. It's him like rethinking about the events that led him here, kind of. Ooh, I like that.
Is there voiceover for any of the other movie except, well, yeah, kind of. I guess he's like when he's writing the letters and stuff and maybe at the end. But that's pretty much it.
That's about it. The rest of it's pretty much smoking in the movie, right?
Yeah. The speaking of the jacket, like the jacket thing seems to be it's kind of a nice little through line almost. Like it's like the jacket that it starts out with, and he's talking about a corduroy jacket, and he's talking about you can have one of my jackets.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just kind of keeps going. It's like him putting on different personas.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a nice little like tie-in. But it also makes me think I feel like we could start something new where it's like, how easy would it be for this movie to just not exist? Right? What would make it for this just to be like, like over in 3 minutes? And it's like when he goes up, when Rebhorn goes up and he's like, oh, hey, went to Princeton, huh? I recognize the jacket. My son, you might recognize my son, Dickie Greenleaf. He'd just be like, oh no, that's not my jacket. Sorry, I just borrowed this jacket.
He broke his wrist, man. Like, I'm just trying to fill in. I'm looking for jobs musically. I definitely did not go to Princeton.
I did not go to Princeton. I'm sorry. Sorry for the confusion. Oh, okay. Well, And then just that's it.
But also,
Tell him it's really over.
I think
movie's over.
I think Herbert might be the kind of guy to be like, well, you should meet my son.
Actually,
I'll pay you instead.
He's persistent enough and just like, well, I thought I was going to have a connection, but whatever.
it honestly feels a little weird the more you dissect it, to where like the fact that Rebhorn, that whatever, Mr. Greenleaf, even just right away is like, you're the one that's going to go over and get my son back.
Yeah.
And then even when you get to the end, even when his son has died, he just does not act like he had a son who died. And lot, you could probably dive really deep into like, really how much does he care about his son?
But I think it works for the film because a lot of it's about possession. Like,
Yes.
Tom wants to pretty much possess Dickie.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think his father, and like throughout, there's like the whole class kind of like conversation, especially with Cate Blanchett's character. She has a line later that's kind of fucking disgusting that we'll get to. But I think that like Herbert doesn't really like have love for his son. He just likes to know that he has a son who went to Princeton.
But also, he's sick of people being like, well, Herbert, what's your son? Your son's not ready to run the business yet?
So he wants...
Oh, he's in Italy?
He's an heir. He's not his son.
Okay,
Right.
I like that a lot better. That's a good description.
Yeah, he's over the conversations after this Princeton stuff of like, oh, and where is George going? And then, oh my goodness. Oh, and how is Carmichael doing? Brandy. Cigar.
Jazz is just noise.
What's this noise we're listening to? And then it's just like, oh, and what's young Richard doing? Oh, well, Dickie is over in Mangy. And he's just pissed about it the whole time. He's just, I'm tired of it.
Mangy? Who's Mangy? Well, you need to meet Mangy.
Mangy?
You've got to meet Mangy.
Oh, he's traveling abroad? It's like, yeah.
Aren't you from
Whatever.
New York? What's that accent?
I don't know. James Rebhorn.
It's actually very interesting you say that, though, about him not, like him, if he just was like, no, I don't know Dickie. He doesn't actually say that he knows Dickie. Yeah. That is the coolest part, is that he goes, well, of course you must know Dickie. And he goes, how is Dickie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't actually necessarily lie in that moment. He just wants to see. A lot of this movie is him, that character, seeing how far other people will let the thing go. He isn't always the one sitting there going, well, yes, you need to know these things. He sort of lets other people fill in the blanks for him.
He's like setting it up, like you say, if like you're interviewing somebody and you want them to talk, just don't talk.
Yes.
He's kind of setting it up for them to like let these pieces fall into place, like the records later on. You know, just like that. He might not have been like, okay, you have to go to this club. He might not have done that. He's just like, this is my one thing. I'm just like luring it out.
I got one last chance. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
I like a lot of the points where it like, because we'll get to when he's like with Dickie in Mangy, it'll be like the group, but then like they'll cut to moments with him, especially like in this scene where he's studying the jazz.
Yeah.
Or like, well, that was not Charlie Parker. No, that was, even the jacket, AJ, like it is like funny if like he was just like, no, it's not my jacket. That is really funny, but I like the simplicity of that, where it's just like it clicked in his head. He's like, oh yeah, how is Dickie?
Yeah.
Like, because he's so far gone from like himself and his situation, as we see, like
It's terrible.
his family home's not good.
Yeah, and it makes me question. It starts off with just a lot of questions about this Tom Ripley in the first place, because like it's like, is he just scouring for like whatever opportunity comes along, or is he just always been this like delusional guy who's just like always pretending to be somebody else? Like, even he's pretending to be another guy playing the piano, technically.
Yeah.
In a way. He's just filling in, but it's like the guy was there with like a bad arm or something. He's like, yeah, thanks for the jacket. And
That's an interesting thought because I think you could totally take it both ways. I think in one sense you could be like, he's been doing this whole life.
Yeah.
He's just in
He's just a con
poverty,
artist.
just trying to do stuff. But I could also see this being one of those random crossroads of life where you just happen to say yes to something. And now your life is on a completely different path that you'll never be able to get out of. I could totally see it both ways. And I wonder if the books maybe discuss that or not. But as you know, this is a movie podcast. So the last time I checked, when you bought a ticket to go see this in the theater, they weren't like, sir, have you seen the book before you've gone into this movie?
Have you seen the book? Because it's better. That's what
So
we do.
just to reiterate.
Technically, you can't view this movie unless you viewed the prose in the novel. So,
Have you read?
doing here?
Please take a version. Take a book. Take it with you. Take it with you. Take it in there. Take it
your
in.
ticket's valid for a week. Go home and read this.
Yeah.
The show starts in 5 minutes. Can
Take
I just go in the movie, please?
Just take it with you.
Do I have to read it right now?
You just got to take it with you.
Take it.
You need to at least have the copy in your possession before you see the movie.
Can I take it when I come back out of the theater? Because
You can give it back when you come out.
I have to read it. All right.
You just have a book. It's like everybody has a copy of the book. It's like, hey, fuck.
Just like popcorn.
I'm trying to hold it with my popcorn.
It's the teenager sweeping up books and popcorn at the end of the movie. Speaking of, real quick, Jarrett Layoff, Confused Breakfast, Actor Database. Any idea what actor's been in the most movies we've done?
Not Jude Law.
Nope.
Friend of the show, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Nope.
Is it Pish?
It's Reb Horn. This
Reb.
is Reb
That's
Horn's
right.
fourth movie. And I do want to ask you, did you do the math on the $1,000?
No, actually, I didn't.
He offers him $1,000
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
expenses paid.
In the 1950s.
What is that worth the equivalent of nowadays?
I will tell you.
I was
because
asking you because I did not do it.
I
And I saw
Well-
you nodding. You go, oh, I didn't do that. Tell us, Mike.
I did. Yeah, I totally played this off like, I bet you know, Mike.
My first viewing of this, I didn't realize that it was 1950s.
No.
Until my second viewing, I was like, oh yeah, there's all the cars and shit. It's because when they get to Italy, it just seems timeless.
Yes, it totally is. That's what it looks like now.
Yeah.
When I watched it with Molly, my wife, last night, and she was, when the Queen Mary comes up, I go, Molly, I stayed on that ship.
Oh, yeah.
It's a haunted hotel now in Long Beach, and it's fucking awesome. She goes, but it's not. It doesn't cross the Atlantic right now anymore, does it? She goes, when was this made? I go, 99. She goes, it was in operation in 99. I go, no, it was the 50s. What? It was the
Yeah.
50s? Like, she didn't know either.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah, they don't like set you up. It feels old school, but not like it doesn't like, oh, this is the 50s.
It's timeless.
You know, yeah. So, by the way, it is $1,000. Do you guys want to take a guess?
I'm gonna guess that's $7,000.
I'm going to say it's 12.
It is just shy of $12,000. I did 1953.
So 12,000, that'd be the equivalent of someone right now coming up to you saying, hey, I need you to go to Italy, all expenses paid. You're going to go first class on a flight, and you're going to have a chauffeur limo take you to the airport. Here's $12,000. Go try to bring my son back.
Right.
You're saying yes to that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like that's why it's like he's like, I'll pay you $1,000, and like nowadays it kind of has like Dr. Evil energy, just like but you're just like, okay, but back then, then you do that math, you're like $12,000
Because
To a
I'm
guy-
like right now, I'm
all
thinking,
expenses paid outside of that.
I spent $1,000 like 2 weeks ago
Yeah,
on a mower and a vacuum.
Yeah.
I just tuned up my air conditioner and had it serviced. It was like $700. It's like, dude, bro, it's not going to work for me.
It goes
Yeah.
so quick.
But keep in mind, $1,000, here's how you can justify it. He's working a job where people are giving him nickels
yeah,
as tips.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, he's in an era where change is valid currency.
yeah. Very good, strong currency.
That's
yeah.
a nickel.
Yeah.
You're going to want to find that.
Yeah, like
where you dropped it.
Better
Or you
hold on
go
to
and
that.
buy a paper off some like a husker on the street or something, and like
Yeah.
you give him a coin.
You flip him a coin. He's like, wow.
Remember, you can't do that anymore. It's just
Gee,
like,
mister.
tap pay and make sure it goes through.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's not near as fun.
Whenever I'm paying with a credit card and somebody goes, would you like to round up? I'm like, fuck no.
No.
Whenever I have a $20 bill and my total was $19.01. They're like, "Do you want to round up?" I'm like, "Fuck
Absolutely.
yes."
I was like,
Please
yeah,
don't
keep
do
it.
this to me.
Please, I don't want to sound like that walking down the street.
I don't want 3 pounds in my pocket
No,
right now.
I don't need it. Like I don't want it.
Did you listen to our friends Raiders of the Lost podcast? You listen to their episode?
I didn't. I didn't want to be clouded by it, but I know they like. They like it.
I listened to it actually on the way over here. I didn't get through it, but I really liked a point they made that I didn't quite pick up on. He when he finally goes up with his luggage to leave, did you see where he lives? He lives like completely underground and has to climb a ladder to get out of his place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like he lives in a basement and he goes up a stairwell. He has to climb a ladder to go up out of his apartment. And it's a really cool way just to show how not rich he is.
Yeah.
But also like he's climbing out of his old life. That was the way they kind of explained
There's
it.
so many like metaphors like that.
Completely.
And it's super cool visually, even not just like being like, you know, you're breaking it down in words right now, obviously, but like the film is showing you this, and it's just like subconsciously you're just like, yes, because that's what the whole point, you know.
And then that shot is from like way down, and
Yeah.
he's like going straight up out of the hole, and you're like, Jesus.
Do you think that is his parents, or do you think he's just like he found a spot that no one goes to?
I believe that he has no parents. I want to say he's not had family for. He could even be like an orphan or something like that. I don't think he knows anyone.
I like how the film suggests like that. I mean, obviously, it's like, you know, our parents have argued before. We've heard them argue. That could be a thing, but it also, like you're saying, like it could be just like him. He's just like he doesn't pay for this place. at all. It's just like an abandoned thing.
You're trying to say that those people were like his parents, maybe that were fighting
Could
up
be.
above him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never once thought that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think that. I thought this was like kind of almost like an apartment scenario, or like he got it from, hey, I need something, I need somewhere to live. Because you look around this place, it's not like a house. It doesn't feel like a home.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like it's like a leftovers place, or like
A storage.
storage,
facility.
all this stuff kind of around that he's just kind of in. And then he's got like he happens like a record player down there, so he can listen to this jazz stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to. Do we want to talk about Cate Blanchett?
Do you want to?
I like her.
Let's.
I'll hire.
Has she and has any human being ever looked better than she does in this movie?
I'm not quite sure. There's a movie, I think it's called Bandits, with her and Bruce Willis and somebody else, I forget. That's where I first saw her, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a crush on you.
Are they trying? Do they want us to hate the character of Meredith in this movie?
I don't
Being
know.
stuck up and like the quote you're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think they want us to like not like her, but it's impossible.
Yeah.
I feel that way about most of the characters.
Do
Yeah.
you though?
Because it's like they want you to dislike, but then for this entire movie, I'll just say it, like my side of it, I felt conflicted about every single character
Okay,
at every
okay.
single like throughout the movie.
Okay, dude. Actually, I might jump on that train with you.
It's like people, unlikable people that for some reason we're drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the way that she described Dickie. Like when he's focused on you, it's like the sun shining on you, and when it's not, it's the coldest. You know, and it's just like, God, it's like all of you people feel this way.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
No, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, like, there is something to like about all of them, I think.
Yeah.
And there's something there's mostly things to just be like, ugh, I don't think I'd like to hang out with you guys at all.
Yeah.
This Cate Blanchett scene is very interesting to me because, like you said, if he had just said no at the beginning of the movie, none of this would have happened.
Right.
But I would like to argue that this is the most important scene of the movie
It's
because
a catalyst. Yeah.
because think about it. If he doesn't say who he is right here, because she goes, "Oh, what's your name?" and he just instinctively says that he's Dickie Greenleaf. If he doesn't, if he just says I'm Tom Ripley, then the whole movie ends up differently because, yeah, he's still going to kill Dickie. But from that point on, when he runs into her at the opera, he's Tom Ripley.
Right.
Yeah.
Which everyone else thinks he is.
Right.
Which means that maybe that relationship can all get flushed out, which maybe means he could even follow her, Meredith, maybe date Meredith, maybe, and move into that lavish luxury. And also, the end of the movie, he doesn't have to kill Peter Smith Kingsley because they all think he is. So this, I think this is the most important scene of the movie.
Yeah, it's the catalyst for everything, and she keeps coming back to and is always a cog in his master plan. You know, it's very interesting. Like I think she does it really well, where she's got the innocence, but she's also, like you're saying, AJ, like not sure if you like her or not because she is a little stuck up.
Yeah, you know that she's like a stuck up person, but it's like, in all honesty, like she is kind of the opposite of like Dickie and Marge, where it's like they're like stuck up in kind of like a pretentious way and they kind of like revel in it, where she doesn't necessarily revel in it too much, but then at the same time she does, because she's carrying around all the bags, she's shopping her heart out.
Louis Vuitton. Molly's like Louis Vuitton,
living it up, you know. she's living it up the same way in Manganiello, you know, that she is just having the best time, but it's like she doesn't feel as good about it as these guys do,
because she did a fake name on the boat, to not draw attention to herself, but was very quick to point it out when she met someone.
100%.
So it's that like
she because like if anybody would have God forbid noticed her, you know, she'd be like, yeah,
you caught me.
Oh man, sorry, you know. It's like, you wanted that to happen,
right?
Shut up.
Shut up.
You know?
Shut up.
I think
Shut up.
You're right in comparing them to Marge and Dickie, where they do flaunt it and they kind of are a little self-aware. Maybe Dickie a little less, but I don't think she's aware of her privilege at all, or like her riches. She's just like, well, this is just life, and I don't understand how people are poor.
Right.
Oh,
you said that about Marge?
About
Meredith.
Meredith. Okay.
You're poor.
Okay.
Just try not being poor.
Have you just tried not being poor?
Ooh. Those shoes.
I think one thing you do have to talk about in this movie before we really dive into it is the time when this came out. Other than Matt Damon, the rest of these guys were fairly unknown to what we know of them today. And I think that's interesting to point out, because if this movie would have come out today with all these people in it, we'd be like, yeah. But back then, you know, I mean, Pish had been in a few things, right? He was most notably in like Patch Adams and Big Lebowski, but very small roles.
Yeah.
Of course, he was in Twister. How could you forget that role? But Gwyneth, you know, Gwyneth was in Seven and a couple other things, but maybe never like leading roles. Cate Blanchett and Jude Law, basically nobodies.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to keep that perspective in mind when you're watching this, because you've got this girl we've never seen before that we're falling in love with, Cate Blanchett. We've got this guy we've never seen before that we're falling in love with. It's almost like the perfect storm of this movie when it came out.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think I've seen any of Jude Law, like the Crocodile movie, whatever the fuck that is. The Memories of Crocodiles or whatever.
Crocodile Tears.
Yeah. And like he was nominated for an Oscar for this, for Best Supporting Actor.
Wild.
Which is... It is wild.
Yeah.
And I mean, like his first probably big movie.
I mean, it
people
really
notice him.
introduced us to Jude Law.
And he's a powerhouse. Perfect for this role.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
we'll get to here.
Well, let's do scene 2. So while studying up, he engineers a chance meeting with Dickie and his fiancée Marge on the beach in Italy. Tom confesses to Dickie that he was sent by his father, but Dickie refuses to return to America. Instead, Tom insinuates himself into Dickie's lavish life, bonding over jazz and scheming to keep the money flowing from Herbert Greenleaf. Dickie's friend Freddie Miles shows up, and this combined with Dickie's pregnant mistress drowning herself, tensions build as Dickie grows increasingly irritated by Tom's clingy presence. Did you pick up on a few of those just really great subtle things again that you don't maybe notice on the first watch. When he's there with his binoculars and he's studying, and he zooms in on Dickie and he says, "This is my face." Mm-hmm. Such a subtle, just the first time you watch it, you're like, oh, he's just learning Italian. He's saying the words. I am going to be him. Yeah. And then even like when they do finally meet and he says, everybody's got to have one talent. What's yours? And the fact that he comes out and just says forging signatures, telling lies, impersonating anybody. You don't, that doesn't set in the first time you see this movie. Yeah. And the second time you're just like, he's just right out there in the open. He's telling us what's going to happen here.
Yeah, and like it's such a perfect character for Dickie to be, because like he buys right into it. You know, like them on the beach. He's like, "Yeah, we went to Princeton together." He's like, "I don't remember, man." But I mean, I guess it's like anybody from my high school coming up to me. I'm like, I had like free friends in high school, man. Like I'm sure I saw you. It's not like anything personal, but it is like with Dickie being like the kind of class thing and like his personality is just like you were floater in high school, Mike. Like you liked everybody, you know. I'm sure that was kind of Dickie's. Like I'm sure we hung out, man. Like whatever, yeah, let's get lunch. You know?
It is very much this like these are these moments of honesty that shine through where Tom will go out of his way to kind of find If somebody asks this to Tom, this is what I'm trying to say. If somebody asks this to Tom, exactly like he did in the beginning, oh, remember we went to? Do you remember my son Dickie? Then he's like, oh, how is Dickie? He plays along. Whereas in this, Dickie is like, Tom Ripley, I don't really know you. He's not playing along. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. No one else is playing along. It's just Tom is. You know what I mean? Like. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
There's a beauty to that, though. I think is why I'm so intoxicated by Dickie is because I'm more of the guy, like whenever I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with remembering people. Somebody came up to me the other day on the playground. I was with Willa and they were like, oh my God, so good to see you. How you been, man? Like, oh, it's been a while. And I, instead of being like, bro, I don't know you. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Because I just want to make sure I don't make that person feel uncomfortable.
But in reality, you might not know that person.
Correct.
and that's the thing.
And I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, so I make myself feel uncomfortable. Where Dickie's just like, we're gonna cut this off right here, man. I'm sorry, I don't remember you.
I'm sorry, I don't remember you. It's like, well, we went to Princeton together. Oh, I knew you, so you must have known me somehow, you know, which is a great line to play it off. Yep. Great line, great way to play it. I knew you, so you must have known me. Yeah, you know, that kind of a thing. And it's like, well, I guess. I mean, if we went to Princeton, you know, the circles are small or whatever. I don't know. And because it's Princeton, Ivy League. Oh yeah, we're Ivy Leaguers. That kind of a thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That camaraderie. And then you have Marge, who's just like a nice person.
Yeah, who just accepts everybody.
Yeah, and she's just like, well, I mean, if you guys know each other, and of all the places in 1950. You happen to be here where we are.
And another American.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just like,
we must have lunch.
We have to have lunch together.
And she's a writer too. She's there writing her novel, which the second time around I was watching, and I'm like, oh, like maybe something like this happened to Patricia Highsmith, the original author. Maybe she's Marge a little bit. I don't know. But she's a writer, she's there writing, so she's kind of a yes person as well. Yeah. Where she's just going to be like, well, I never know what's going to happen until it happens, and that's good for writing. Experience is good for writing, and so I'm just going to accept this guy no matter what.
Yeah.
Do you guys find, I mean, I think this character of Dickie we're supposed to be mad at, and I think we're supposed to hate him, and spoiled rich kid just fucking doing whatever he wants, but man, this time around I'm like, I understand why people would hate this spoiled rich kid, but like this, I just love Dickie. I mean, it's probably Jude Law's performance, but I want to be friends with Dickie. I want to live Dickie's life. I get so much why Tom Ripley continues to move forward with all of this, because he wants this. He wants him. He wants his life. He wants everything because it's so intoxicating.
He wants it so bad. Like, I mean, obviously, because look at where he came from. So it's like, of course, like, why would he not want to that was why like I kind of kept asking myself like, why does he do this like confession thing? And like he's like, the only talent my son has, jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Is anybody else creeped out by the sound of him doing that?
Absolutely. I think it
was just like
it became creepy, and you get kind of creeped out with Dickie. That you're just like, I don't like the way you're talking, regardless if this is an impression.
The camera's just like right in his face. It's like,
it's his lips. It's the lips. He's doing the James Redhorn.
Yeah. It's almost like they combined the on-set audio with like Jesus Christ with it.
Just like a post kind of.
Yeah, a post.
Yeah,
like him recording.
It sounds different.
Yeah, it sounds like you're right. It sounds weird.
And so it made me question like, well, why is he doing? Why would he come right out and just like tell Dickie about this? And it's like he must have played the ran through the odds in his head already of like, how do I just continue on doing this? I want to stay here as long as possible. How do I do that?
He might have been smart enough to know what was going to happen, to be like, hey, I got all this money, man. Like, I feel bad pretending like I'm going to try to do something I can't do. So why don't we just like figure something out?
Well, he's smart enough too, and I don't know if he's smart enough or that he's just like planting a seed with Dickie to tell him that like, actually, no, I'm here to try and bring you back. Like your dad's paying me to pay. Like, so he's already telling him, I'm a deceiving bastard.
Yeah,
I'm deceiving.
What's your
you
talent?
right now.
I'm deception.
Yeah,
but Dickie like kind of like is fascinated by this.
Yeah,
and he's like everyone should have one. He's like, that's 3. Nobody should have more than one. It's just, which is also very funny to me. But I just think it's like. He's like fascinated by
I
this.
I think a lot of these people are smarter than we think they are. I think Freddie's smarter than we think.
Oh, Freddie knows as soon as he sees him.
But I think Dickie knows too. I think Dickie completely, like, none of this goes over his head. He's like, well, yeah, you lied to my dad and now you're coming over here and now you're trying to be my friend. Well, whatever. Sounds kind of fun. I think from the start, he's trying to take that money and bleed him for any extra dollar he can get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're right, because even later on, he's like, Marge and I had a bet if you even went to Princeton or not.
Totally.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care.
That day, they're like,
You don't like
that's a
jazz
good
either.
point. Yeah, 'cause it's like all the stuff we haven't seen that's been going on, all the conversations between him and Marge, and him and Freddie, and
Even imagine that conversation. I wanted some of that. I wanted the Freddie Dickie conversation where Freddie's like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, Dick, this ski trip thing, it's not going to work out. Tom can't come."
Yeah.
I wanted to experience some of those conversations, but we didn't get it because we're in Tom's world.
Yeah.
To experience this whole thing, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like him like planting the little seeds and stuff like that. Oh, Tom's taking off. He's like, well, I'll come say bye, and he drops the records. It's just like these little seeds that keep going. He knows he likes jazz, and he's like, we have to go to the club. You know? That's this scene, right?
Yeah. Because he's like, look at the name of my boat, Bird. Charlie Parker Bird. And you're just like, he's planting the seeds, and again, I just always take this back to like, man, a parlance of the times of finding somebody that you happen to run into. And you just happen to like both love the same music, which jazz at this point is like maybe more up and coming.
It's rebellious.
It's the new age. It's rebellious.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's the underground, And so, now I have to take you. You have to stay longer.
The modern day equivalent would be sleep token.
Right.
Like he would drop a sleep token shirt out of his bag.
Oh,
like, you like sleep token too?
Dude, you worship sleep, dude.
Are you gonna worship too?
It's
cool,
fucking sick, dude.
Dude, I know this underground.
All right. You know what that means.
Rave club.
Okay, time out. You're Dickie. What is the one possible thing that could fall out of Tom's bag to make you be like, fuck it, you're my best friend?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, man. Music related, I guess, is probably right now Barbarians of California. Because I'm just like, fuck yeah.
That's it.
sick.
Like, if that comes out, you're like, you're my new best friend.
Yeah. What? You like them too? Did you know it was AWOL Nation, dude?
It'd be for me.
Of course I did.
Well, yeah, you're awesome.
For me right now, it'd just be like random like golf paraphernalia. just like tees and balls and like a divot repair. I'm like, oh man, oh hey, oh my god, ball marker. Oh man,
You actually repair your divots?
wow, you like, oh, so you must make divots then. It's like you must do pretty good. You're just like. It's like that's what would do. It's like we have to go play. I know this course. We should go.
An entire golf club falls out of his pocket. He's like, oh wow,
Oh, excuse me. I don't know how that got there.
it must have slipped in my pocket. I don't know.
I think mine would be even more obscure. It would be him going, oh, hold on, I got a notification. Oh, it turns out it's just more hate from these TikTok videos that I'm making. You get hate for TikTok videos too? Yeah, dude, the internet's just terrible. Look at this. This guy's just making fun of this fan theory I have about this. What?
I have to take you to TikTok headquarters. You must go.
We must
Listen,
go.
we have friends at Spotify. Let's go down there right now, eat in the cafe outside. It'll be amazing. You must.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Also, I need to set you up for this. So I'm watching the jazz club scene, and they're singing this song, this amazing Whiskey and Soda. I didn't know this song, but I looked up the lyrics, and it says my name. It says Mike Schulte in the song.
Oh, does
wow.
it?
Yeah, there must have been a famous Mike Schulte back then, but
Yeah,
I
because I
want you.
don't speak Italian.
No, I want you to listen to this. It's amazing. Listen.
Oh, Mike Schulte.
Did you hear that?
Wow.
Mike Schulte. Here it comes.
Mike Schulte make a mess.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Mike Schulte make a mess.
I was famous. I was
Wow,
famous back
dude.
then.
Was it
The
Mike Schulte make a mess or
Mike
Mike Schulte
Schulte make
amends?
Hey, ooh.
No, because no, it is because he's talking about. See, let me break this down. He's saying this Americano guy named Mike Schulte shows up, has a little too much whiskey and soda, kind of fucks
Classic.
up, and then Mike Schulte make amends the next day.
Oh, yeah.
That's really what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had too much whiskey and soda at the baseball game. Had too many hot dogs. Threw up all over the place. Farted a lot, and then had to make amends.
Yep.
Got it.
Also,
Got it.
like he's like, oh, Mike Schulte's here. Like, come on stage, man. Come on. You're just like, no,
not good.
I'm off tonight, man.
You pull drumsticks out of your coat. Okay, all right.
It's just I couldn't. Oh, I do love this scene. It's fun because it also, like, Tom Ripley is such a. He's normally so calculated, and him getting brought up on stage is kind of watching him like work in real time, of him figuring out how to be or how to do something. And that's like the same thing with like singing in Italian. He is like Freddie says later, he's a quick study. And it's like he's working this out in real time on stage. It's kind of fascinating to me. But at the same time, it's kind of nice to watch him struggle.
Yeah.
I just love this scene. Like, I want to go there.
I want to be there every night. I get it.
Every night.
It's simultaneously awesome, but also way too loud for me.
Yeah.
I would just be like,
Says the guy with awful hearing because he's been playing music for way too long in loud bands.
but like that, this is too loud, but feedback is just fine.
Yeah. Like white noise, like feedback and white noise, that's fine. But a trumpet? Nah. You're going to need to put a thing in that. You need to put a horn in that,
There's
man.
so many conversations I want to have with people here. I'm just like, and I can't fucking hear anything. No one can hear me because I talk so soft. Just fuck.
This is where Pish shows up. They're talking there the next day. Most important thing we do here, we got to do is eat, and they're sitting there. And when he drives up in his car and gets out and of course doesn't open the door, steps over it.
The most epic.
That line of, don't you just want to fuck every girl you see just once? I was like, yeah.
Wow.
like what? And it's a very under his breath kind of a thing that he says. I had to rewind and be like, what did he say? I fucking love this version of Pish.
He walks onto this set. He walks into this movie in an absolute fucking just like he's a bulldozer. He just bulldozes his way into this, and Tom hates it. You can tell he hates it almost right away because he's just like, you're ruining everything.
Well, the best is he goes, yeah, Freddie's coming.
Yeah, he's like,
Freddie, who's coming? Freddie, one of my best friends from back at Princeton, he kind of clams up at that moment, going, "Fuck."
Well, it's like if you've ever been like hanging out with a girl and like you like her, but it's not like been said between you guys yet, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, my friend Dave is coming." I'm like, "Fucking Dave? Who the fuck is Dave?" It's kind of like that. Where
it's
like,
exactly like that.
But you're right, AJ. I think this might be one of my favorite Pish roles.
Oh, dude,
it's amazing.
He is an absolute bombardment in this, in every sense of it. Him walking up, I just want to fuck every girl you see just once, and then he's just like,
first thing he's like, "Don't worry, we've got reservations at Mangiapane's."
Mangiapane's is like, and he walks up, he's like, he says that like vulgar line, but then he goes up and just like kisses Dickie on both sides. Like there is and this is what I'll say too. Freddie might be the most real person in this entire movie.
Yes, he is.
100%. Because he is just unabashedly himself. And just to the nines, man.
I don't know what they're drinking, but like it's like champagne or something.
It's like that wine.
He pours it. He's like, "See, I got us a table at Frizzo's."
He's like, and that oh my god, this moment where he's just like, he walks up, he's just like, he's like, and then he pours this into a water glass, and he just like half a water glass.
It's a little too much.
It's like, I got Tommy,
come on, baby.
It's kind of nice because he's like automatically inviting like, "Tommy, it's great to meet you." Great. He's like, "Come on, Tommy, you're along with us, man. We're going to Frizzello's or whoever the fuck."
Frizzios.
It's just on it.
Mike, you said Mangiapane. It's Mangiapello, but I've like because Mangiapane is a hockey player.
What is that?
I've been getting it stuck in my head this whole time.
Mangiapane.
Is it Mangiapello or Mangiapane? No, fuck.
Who cares?
He
It's
plays
Mangi.
for Hurricanes. Shit.
Oh, dude! And by the way, he steps out of his car, right?
Oh yeah, he doesn't open the door.
So later on, when he's putting like, there must be something wrong with the doors because when he's putting Pish in,
It doesn't shut.
It doesn't shut very well. So I'm just like, he knows his car so well, or he just doesn't deal with the doors.
He's just like, we don't have to. It's Italy.
I'm literally above it. I'm not going to deal with these doors. I just jump out.
Before this, I have to talk about. I really like how the film, because like I said, we get the group. And it's really awesome. It's really fun to see them all hang out and everything. But then you get the quiet moments of Ripley alone, like where he's looking through all of Dickie's stuff and like impersonating his voice and
Marge's voice too. Yeah,
and you get those moments of just Ripley, and you're like, yeah, there is something weird about this guy. I keep forgetting because all of this is so much fun. But the way the film making of it brings us in and out of his perspective, even though we're like with him the whole time. But it's that scene, and then it cuts to like them having a conversation, but it's a close up of his eyes, and it kind of slowly comes out back into the group, and you're more ingratiated. So you kind of forget along the way that Ripley is, a motherfucker.
This is the fun part of the movie where everything's so fun, and we're doing these fun things, and you're breaking my ribs, like when they're riding in the motorcycle. This is where you're like, cool, fun movie. But then this is where it starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
Because this fucking little pussy Tom Ripley like can't deal with another bro coming into the
You're right.
All he had to do was just be cool, and he has no capability of being cool.
Yeah.
Dickie, we gotta get to the train. Are you gonna be there? Are you gonna be at the train?
Yeah.
That scene, there are scenes in movies, we talk about it, it's the swingers scene where he calls.
Yeah.
This is the one that hurts me the most and just makes me hate Tom, is when they're in the listening booth and he's like, "Okay, I'll catch you later."
Yeah.
And then he fucking comes back like a little bitch. You told me to remind you about the train. Okay. Like it just, that's when it turns. I don't mind Tom until now.
Yeah.
And this is when I'm like, fuck this guy.
Got a stage 4 clinger here.
Yes, I hate this guy.
And it's rough because, and that's the thing, we should, by all intents and purposes, we should hate Freddie. But
we should hate Dickie.
We should probably hate Dickie. But like, Freddie is being set up as a villain kind of in this, in the Tom perspective, because that's the perspective we get. We should kind of hate him because he's tearing this all down. But he sees through this, and that moment when he's in the booth, he's just like, it's fucking hilarious. It's like one of my favorite things that he does.
I think,
and he's just like, I can see this. He's being very like clingy and very like manipulative.
Well, wouldn't you argue that this probably happened to Freddie at some point, right? Wouldn't you argue that maybe at one point Freddie was like the number one in Dickie's life?
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe he experienced that from sun shining to cold, but he's just a real enough person to be like, I get it. I'm gonna give Dickie some space and go do my own stuff.
He never made it a thing, I don't think.
Yeah, so when he comes back, things are just normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's like, listen, if Dickie tomorrow goes, you know what, I got stuff to do with Marge, Freddie's gonna be like, all right, and then I'm gonna go do some other stuff.
Yeah.
I just think that happened to him at one point. So he's watching it going, oh, this fucker.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know what's about to hit him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I totally. We can talk about this a little later too, but like there's a lot in this scene because the bathtub scene.
Oh God!
I guess talking about the clinginess and kind of the like, what are you doing? Well, one, you get to see Jude Law's gavel.
Oh yeah,
Fucking pretty sick.
There's a gavel.
His dong.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Jude Law the gavel.
I didn't see it.
It's fun.
the hammerhead.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
It's a fun joke.
Cool,
It's
man.
really fun.
Fuck.
Thanks, Brian. Brian wasn't laughing at all.
When he wraps that on the table, you know there's justice. That's what we call it, the
Thank you.
gavel.
No, you know that sex court is in session. All rise. Get it?
Oh yeah.
We can keep going.
Yeah, this is awesome. You're doing great. But the whole thing where he's in the tub and he's like, God, I'm cold. Can I get it in? He's like, no. He's like, I didn't mean with you. What do you think about his sexuality in this? Because later on, as we see, he gets with Kingsley.
I think it's a question of all of their sexuality, though, too, throughout the movie. I think there's a question of it throughout. Like everyone, like it's probably like bisexual to some degree. Even Freddie gives off those vibes.
Yeah,
with the wrist.
Well, I mean the wrist can be like yuppie. You know what I mean? It's very yuppie. But then at the same time, he's still very much, he wants to be in that booth with Dickie.
Yeah.
I think that there's kind of always this like there must be this kind of sexual energy or something always coming off of Dickie.
But they're implying that whole thing with the detective later about, well, no one's homosexual here, but of course they are.
Yeah.
But I think it was frowned upon at that time, maybe especially in Italy. I don't know.
They even show that one guy
sexually liberated over there. I don't know.
I don't know, man, but it's the 50s, and they even show that the guy's like straddling another guy.
Yeah, true.
And
then they're like, damn girl, you look fucking fine, bitch. Woo!
That's why I think like. So and there's an idea too of like, especially like long time ago, like think of like Italian and like Roman royalty or whatever, right? It was like, or think Game of Thrones, Oberon, right? Dude, maybe the most like badass, like masculine dude ever, but he's like, I want everyone at this brothel.
Both.
You're both hot. You're all getting
both
in here.
At the same time.
We're doing it all. And he's just like, it was just like a thing. It just didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, no, and that's like that upper society, like I can have whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think Tom is gay.
I think he's asexual.
I do too. I think he just knows, he's been seeing the people that can get the closest to Dickie, the Sylvana, Marge, they all
Meredith. Like even later on, he kind of turns her down. It seems like for sex. I just don't think it's not about sex, and he doesn't really have that desire.
But he thinks Dickie wants sex from everybody.
Yes.
So he's like, well, then if that's what I got to do, I'll do it.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, there were some people that I was watching a little bit some reviews, and people were like, "Yeah, because it's a struggle of his homosexuality." I'm like, "Yeah, it could be that," but I really don't. I think it's not even a thing in his mind.
It's not even the sex. We don't even know that he ever has sex.
It's
with
just lying.
It's a part of his game.
Yeah,
that's it. It's just literally it doesn't mean it literally means nothing to him. Not that it means a lot to him. It's like there is something to it, especially like him and like doing the dance thing in the mirror and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like him kind of going through that. Like I have to imagine that that's on par with like the Goodbye Horses scene of Silence of the Lambs. You know what I mean? Of him in the mirror, of just like, and Dickie walking in, like, why are you wearing my clothes and doing this stuff?
Which is a great shot, by the way. He's behind the mirror, it's just his head, and Dickie is in the mirror.
Oh my God!
Really,
brilliant.
So many stuff like that in this movie.
It is. I think you're right. It's not even actually a thought. It's just a part of his game. He doesn't actually care.
Yeah.
And this is it just gets so uncomfortable from here on out. It's that scene. Him just deciding that this is something you should do. Go in someone else's room and wear their clothes and dance around.
He said I could get a jacket, you know. It's like you're wearing shoes and like everything except the pants, bro.
And then he goes on the boat and he's being that stupid little fucking bitch that's like pouting. You're on a sailboat.
Yeah.
In the Mediterranean.
How'd you like the sailing in this?
Oh my God. Me and Molly like clutched each other when they started sailing. We're like, someday, babe, we'll be back. We'll go back. Nothing cures a hangover like jumping in the ocean and swimming. And this little fucking pussy is like, I'm gonna read my book on the front. This is when I turned so hard on Tom Ripley. I hate him.
It became personal for Mike at this point.
All you had to do was enjoy a cocktail and like get in good with Freddie. Freddie's cool as fuck.
Freddie is actually probably like wicked cool.
Yes.
But we're supposed to think he's a dick because he's probably being protective of his friend Dickie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like,
in the same sense, he's being protective of Tom. He's like, don't get too deep in this.
Yeah.
He is.
So
Tom.
sorry, go ahead.
Tommy.
Tommy.
How's the peeping?
How's the peeping?
Tom.
How's the peeping?
How's the peeping?
How's the peeping, Tommy?
I love how he's got like a
Tommy.
cigarette and a drinking bowl.
And he's shaking a little bit.
He's like, Tommy, how's the peeping?
Tom.
Tommy,
Tom.
how's the peeping?
It's fucking brilliant, man.
That's my favorite fucking thing.
Yeah, and then you have this. Things just kind of go downhill from here. You've got him not being invited to go skiing anymore. They're thinking about ending this. Then you've got the drowning of Silvana, and that's a turning point, I think, in Dickie's world to be like, it's not fun and games anymore. And this is when he's just like, I'm getting out of this town. We're moving.
Yeah.
This is it all really makes a turn here at this point in the movie.
Yeah.
He wants out of this town. Like Dickie wants out of this because you're right, that got too real for him.
Yep.
So now he doesn't it's not even like he just wants to be done with Tom. He just wants to be done with everything right now. He wants to move on because that's his privilege.
Yeah.
To just be able to go ahead and do
Rent
that.
a boat and drive up the coast and find your next house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something you would do.
Yeah. And so that got it. That's fine. But at the same, it's not fine. But I think at this point, it's that conversation that they kind of have of like, especially after, or even after the initial one. It's the conversation in like the train station or like whatever the station that they're in.
Yeah.
He's like, it's fine. It's like he's trying to blow Tom off. He's like, I'm done with you. This is getting too weird.
And he realizes like the letters they're writing to his dad is like the fun thing. It's like that. Well, that's why you like me, is because we're both kind of getting back at your dad. You know, he's like, I don't think we're gonna do this anymore, man.
We all need to move on, Tom.
Yeah.
You know, we got to move on. It's like we got to, and it's like Dickie's not actually moving on. He's just moving to a new town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't want. It's kind of like, I don't need the additional baggage of what following me along.
Oh, 1,000%. And I've known people like this throughout my life where it's just like they do one thing and they get sick of it.
Yeah.
And they move on. And they're totally fine with just like moving away.
Yep.
And like you just created this whole life and they're totally fine with just getting up and going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm done with it.
Which I'm not saying is bad. I'm just, it's people are like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, scene 3. When Dickie tires of him completely, Tom's obsession and desperation reach a breaking point. During a boating trip, a furious Tom murders Dickie. Realizing he can impersonate Dickie without anyone knowing, Tom sinks the boat and begins forging Dickie's identity. He moves into a grand apartment, signs Dickie's name to checks, deceives Marge through letters, making it seem like Dickie chooses to stay behind in Rome. Meredith arriving back in his life complicates things a little bit. This is when it gets creepy. Like, I already kind of hate Tom now, but he starts like saying things like, I'm the brother you've never had.
Yeah.
He's taking things and like trying to make sure that Dickie feels the way he thinks he feels in his head. And this is when it's like, no way. And this is when you really get an idea of truly where I do think Dickie knew what was going on all along. And he was like, I know this guy's kind of weird, but like, he's giving us some money and he's funny and like he has a good time and he seems to worship me and I like having
really
those guys around.
Yeah.
But then it turns the corner into creepiness. And that's when Dickie, thank God Dickie is who he is though, because like I told you when I saw a person on the playground that I just kind of went along with it. But I admired Dickie for just being like, I don't know you. If this were me, I wouldn't be able to be as tough as Dickie was to like let this guy down.
Sure.
I'd be like, Dad, oh man, I'm going to be busy next weekend actually, so I won't be able to help you out. But maybe the next weekend we can get together.
Yeah,
But I love how Dickie's just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately his demise. But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's like one more. Well, let's have one more. Romp, if you will, in the fun of Manji,
and one last chance,
whatever we're doing.
It's one last chance for like Tom to maybe like right himself because he's like, we're gonna have fun. Come on, man.
Yeah, snap out of the quit fucking cleaning up shit. You don't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Like that came out of the blue for me. That moment right there.
Yeah.
But then you kind of realize it's like, oh, because he's all upset about.
He had a child.
He did.
Also, I didn't quite catch that she had a fiance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what was going to be really weird about this was they both were they were not married. She was not married to her fiance. Having a kid outside of marriage, let alone before you were even married, with someone who's not your fiance. There's even that scene where he walks up to some friends and he kind of like brushes Sylvana's cheek.
Yeah.
The guy next to him is like really being like, what the fuck?
Hey, dude.
Yeah. That's
the fiance.
him. Yeah.
It has to be. Yeah.
Yep. And then like there is kind of that kind of like, what are you doing? But there's also, that's kind of that Rome, vibe or whatever it is, that Italian vibe of just like, everybody's cordial with everybody, that kind of a thing. The kiss on the cheek kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of like as you were talking about, Mike, the metaphors, the visual metaphors of Dickie coming out from the basement and everything, and the mirror shot. Even like when he's in the bath, there's a reflection of his face in the water, and he like disturbs the water a little bit, and his face washes away.
They're so subtle. I didn't pick up on that one.
There's so many, and even just the setting of 1950s Italy and Rome, especially Italy, like post-war, and these people coming in vacationing to a post-war place, and the masking of like all the fashion and all like the sexual liberation of everybody, the masking of what just happened to this place. Like this place was, a lot of it is still rubble, even the location motif of like putting something pretty over something ugly that happened.
That's true.
Tom trying to be Dickie and trying to be so many other things besides himself is such a cool, like, to set it in the 1950s is such a cool metaphor to have in Italy for sure.
Yeah. Like the as we get kind of to Dickie's demise here, I like this whole boat scene feels awkward, but I feel like this is when like Jude Law like kind of probably earned that award.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, or did he win or did he?
No, nobody won
nominate?
anything yet.
His nomination, sorry. Yeah, I think this is kind of when he got that nomination, is in the boat, when he not only like after he gets hit, but before he gets hit, and he's kind of mocking Tom at this point.
Yeah.
It kind of shows Dickie's true colors. You know what I mean? That again, Dickie is not a likable. We shouldn't like Dickie. Like, I don't think you should like any of these people hardly. But in the same vein, like, now we finally see it, and he's just like, you know, that kind of stuff, and then you're kind of like, yeah, I want to hit you too. You know what I mean? Like, you want to hit him, but man, when that blood rushes out of his head, that's really good.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good.
It's a great special effect.
Yeah.
I mean, you call it a special effect, right? Because there's a
prosthetic over in there,
yeah.
the tubes running, yeah.
And the blood on his face. Like, you fucked it out of it.
It's properly violent. One of the reviewers was like, it's what we were joking about. It's insufficiently, not whatever. This is great. This is the amount of violence we need for Dickie's demise.
You don't know where I've been, Tom.
Yeah, you don't know where I've been.
Even before this, when they're on the train too, real quick, is a little bit like the Persona, Ingmar Bergman's shot of the two faces.
Yeah.
It's the reflection. He's like lining up his face with Dickie's. It's just all of those combined, and now Dickie's face is real fucked up.
But see, I don't. You say that you wanna hate Dickie here, and this is where you really can hate him. I still like. I at this point, you're talking about the train where Tom's like sniffing his armpits,
yeah,
like,
I know.
trying to sleep on it, and why you always do that thing with your neck? Spooky. Like I love Dickie. I am Team Dickie.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the point I'm at in my life where I am so Team Dickie on this that I'm mad at this point that he's dead. And he's out of the movie.
I am to a certain degree. I agree with both of you in the fact where, like, even when Dickie right here is like being all childish and stuff, it's because he's never really grown up. He's living a fantasy life.
Yeah,
you know.
It's
but
like
we all like to hate this typical rich character who comes from privilege, who's like he's never had a real job in his life. He just lives there. Like, that's bullshit. Grow up, man. But all of us that say that would do that if we had the chance.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that never gets pointed out.
And to your same point, it's because Tom has provoked him to this point.
Exactly.
It is that.
Leave it alone and
So-
everything would be just fine.
Yeah. Everything on top of it too, where the woman dying with his child, presumably.
Silvana.
Yeah.
So this was something, again, that I didn't quite notice the first time through. Maybe I was a little tired. I think I broke the first viewing up into 2 watches. But when he decides that he's going to live both lives and try to procure this to prove that he didn't do anything wrong, the checking in scenes are brilliant. Mm-hmm. How it goes back and forth so subtly that you don't quite even know that this is him checking into 2 different places under 2 names, building 2 different lives up. It's just done to perfection, this whole scene.
It's just like, even like sitting down to write any of this would just be like, we were just talking about time signatures. It's like, I can't even fathom like okay, so he's Tom. And like, even in the beginning of this, I'm like, forgetting like who is who.
Yeah.
Because he becomes them both, you know.
I feel like if you're writing this, you have to write it. You don't write it as Tom being Dickie or Tom being Tom. You just write it as Tom or Dickie, and then you just let him be both.
That's a great point.
Ooh, wow.
You know,
because that's kind of what's happening now.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not about him pretending to be; it's him being.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So there is a difference. Mm-hmm. You know.
But yeah, and then like the filmmaking, but like I think what Mike is saying is like the filmmaking is letting you in on trying to decipher these two.
Yeah, 100%. And because it is the point of him making the phone calls.
Yeah.
You know, he's not there. Oh, okay. Well, can I leave a message for him?
And he's smiling because he knows how smart he is.
Yes, exactly. He's reveling in this for himself, which is like that is like the faux pas of a criminal genius, right? Is they get too wrapped up and too excited about how good they're doing, and it's like they fall for their own bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
he thinks this whole thing is done.
Tom
at this point.
Yeah. because he's going about it. He's going and getting suits or doing all that thing. And that's when
Buying himself Christmas presents.
Yeah.
that's when he runs
Crazy.
into, no shit. That's when he gets, or runs back
Meredith.
into Meredith.
And that's
Which
when
is
you
the one thing he didn't account for.
yes.
one little cog, because we're thinking everything's great now, and then it's the uh-oh. And then the fact that he does agree to go to this opera, I think the only reason he agrees to go is because he truly loves opera, and I think he's been sick of all the jazz shit.
Yeah,
And then
he's
remember
having an emotional reaction to it.
Yeah, remember that opening scene where he wanted to watch, but he couldn't?
Yeah.
This is like, he's like, all right, fine. He knows he should probably say no to this because things are going to get complicated here, maybe.
Yeah.
But he says yes because he just is like, nah, I got to do it. I got to go with Meredith. I don't think he likes Meredith, does he? Like, does he want to be with Meredith?
No, I don't think so. I think especially at this
Psycho?
point, like when he first met her, I think he liked having someone see him as more upper class, and that's what Meredith was seeing him as. And now he didn't think about Meredith coming back, and so he's got to like deal with it, because now she's the only one who knows that he's Dickie. You know what I mean?
Everyone else
That's
thinks
a good
Dickie
point.
is gone.
She is the loose end.
She is. So he has to keep tabs on her and at the very least, make sure she gets like ushered out of his life in the right way.
There are only 2 people in Italy right now that think he's Tom Ripley.
Yeah. But you might be right in the fact too, because he does say, "Oh, Marge and I, it didn't work out." And he said, "Don't worry, I'm totally over it." So he might have like been falling into, I think we said it earlier, like he might just go with Meredith and be with Meredith in a way.
He could have
that life.
If he had said that he was Tom Ripley when he first met her,
Yeah.
then he now at this point could become infatuated with her and live a rich life with her.
Right.
Sure.
If she had lived in a dumpster, I would say let's do this.
Yeah.
That's how charming she is. But let alone she's the heiress to a fortune and she's beautiful and loves you.
Yeah.
You're gonna say yes.
Oh, yeah.
But now you can't because you fucked it up.
Well, then like at the opera too, he might have been going down that path as Dickie with Meredith, and then
Peter Smith Kingsley. Yep.
Kingsley and Marge show up, and
Marge.
it's like, well, now Meredith is a loose end.
She completely is.
Shit, like I can't do that part anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild how fast he figures out the way to get him to the coffee shop
Yeah, it's
scene.
crazy.
Too. Like when he was doing it, I'm like, does he know he's doing this? Oh, of course he does. Fuck, this guy's smart.
Yeah, he said the 10, and I was like, did he just make a mistake? And then he says, well, 10:15. And I'm like, did he make a mistake?
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then they show up like promptly, and you're like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
And he's just hoping this works out, and he's like, he has an idea of like, yeah, I mean,
How will this conversation go?
yeah, because if she says I was there with Dickie, that means Dickie's alive to Marge.
That's what we want.
It's so deep.
And here's where this would never work out in 2025.
Okay.
Is those two would show up, right, and they'd sit down, and more than likely, like Marge and maybe even Peter would like pull out their phones, and they'd be like,
No. First, they'd have to scan a QR code to figure out what they want
Yes.
to order for breakfast.
correct, because there's no wait staff that's going to be coming around to them.
No.
And then Meredith would be showing up, and she'd sit down, and she'd be like, "Is that Marge? It's not. I don't think it's not. I don't think. Maybe it is. No, it is. I don't want to bug him. I'll just be on my phone." And
Dickie, where are you?
Dickie, I'll just text him incessantly until he shows up, and then Tom would just be sitting up there like, "Fuck, they're not gonna talk to each other, are they?"
They don't want to talk. They're
Son of a
Facebook friends.
bitch.
They're Facebook friends, but they don't
Yeah.
actually know each other.
Yeah, and that's what Meredith is doing, is looking on Facebook
Yes.
to see if he can. But is that Marge? Is that Marge?
She looks
check.
nothing like her picture.
Yeah,
Marge looks up at her just like at a glance, and she's like, "Yes, very important stuff."
Yes, of course. .coms.
Textiles, text tiles.
Tiles.
Let's do scene 4. So things start to unravel when Dickie's friend Freddie grows suspicious and Tom murders him. The Italian police grow suspicious, but Tom stays one step ahead by forging a suicide note in Dickie's name. Marge grows suspicious as well and is nearly killed by Tom before their friend Peter intervenes.
I think the line that Meredith has is, if you have money and despise it, you're only happy around people who have it and despise it, which is so fucking gross. But it's a tell of how these people are.
Yeah.
And even being in Italy, war-torn Italy, post-war Italy, it's just kind of like, ugh, like, it's just the culture you kind of take as yours, that kind of is gross. I mean, visiting is totally fine, and I don't know, there's something there, but like being something you're not is the theme of the movie. And so I think it's funny in this way, where she even says, like, in that when they're meeting at the coffee shop, she's like, we're meeting Tom Ripley, have you met him? It's like, I mean, no, but of course I've heard of him. It's like, you haven't heard of him. It's just, you're just saying that because important people are talking about a person.
Yeah. I think we met once.
It's really, really funny to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that, but technically we don't really know that she has ever like actually heard about Tom Ripley. We didn't get that firsthand. Right. Maybe it could have happened off screen, if you will.
She does know Freddie somehow. Has heard of Freddie at least.
Well, she's going on the ski trip.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So she was part of this group that was going to go skiing. So I'm assuming conversations are starting to flow like, well, you're going to room with this person. Oh, and by the way, Dickie's bringing this guy named Tom Ripley. Sure. He's been really cool.
Freddie, yeah,
we're having a great time.
Freddie's saying, he's like, and I don't know if Dickie's bringing this Tom Ripley anymore, but we'll see. I don't really like him, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And that's what Meredith knows about.
Sure.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And you get to this where I think is really truly where Pish maybe for the first time shows off. Like,
I'm Pish.
Oh man, because when he's in Twister, like, it's hilarious. I think he's just kind of being an actor, just trying to get in the movie, and then in Big Lebowski as Bran, I mean, he's brilliant, but it's just such a small role. But this is where he is like the main character of a scene, and man, he's so good. He knows. He's figured this guy out from the start, and he knows right now everything to say to this guy to be like, oh, fuck, I don't know what you did, but you did something.
Yeah, I'm sick of this.
I'm sick of
your bullshit, man. I know exactly what's going on.
Freddie should be our hero of this movie.
He should be.
Yeah.
But he's not, because we are living this with Tom. And if he undoes what Tom does, that's the narrative that feels like it's being pushed.
Yeah.
Almost, even though it's like you should be thinking outside of this and being like, no, Tom is a piece of shit.
Tom killed Dickie.
He's a murderer.
He killed Dickie.
Like, he is a murderer, and he's like willing to kill to keep this going. And he is a liar. He is a con artist. Like, he is not a good person.
Even his face is in the scene where he's just going,
yeah,
yes.
You're like, ugh.
But Tom's?
What?
Tom's faces?
Yeah, Tom's.
It's like these the like half smiles.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you.
Exactly.
It's very Two-Face.
It's that shot of him like at the piano. He's like,
yeah,
fucking.
And it's like
it's the fucking
his
best.
fucking antagonizing Tom. Just it's a new
That's his
it's a new
coat
piano
on the piano.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Brand new piano.
Excuse me.
It's a brand new.
Like
it's a brand new piano.
that shot of him where he's like that devious like smile that Matt Damon has, which I'll go out and say it. I think this is Matt Damon's best performance of all time.
And that's why, because he somehow was able to make a bad guy the protagonist, sort of. Like, there are people that watch this movie, they're like, yeah, he killed Freddy.
Oh, thank God, he's keeping up his ruse.
Yes.
It's that devious smile that he's got where, like you're saying, he's like, he realizes, like, I'm going to have to kill this guy. And he knows he's going to kill him.
He starts to make those realizations because he starts to do it with Marge later on, too. And but these moments of like I say, Freddy should be our hero. When he comes back in, it should be a redemption moment. But then he just gets hit with that.
Well, what are you doing, Freddy? Like, I mean, you're a smart guy. You're going back in there.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the movie, again, it changes on a dime. If he immediately goes to the cops and goes, figured it out, I know what's going on here, then this movie's over.
Yeah. And even he even sounds like he doesn't even go in there sounding like he's gonna catch Tom though.
Is it almost like he's pretending like he's still playing along?
Yeah, it's like because he's what does he say when he comes back up into it? He's like, "Hey, Tommy, Tommy, I wanted the landlady to say," and then boom, he's out. And so, that should be a moment where we just feel like, fuck,
Yeah.
but we don't. We were like, in the moment upon first watch, I was almost like,
Yeah, I know.
wait a second,
so
wait a
brilliant.
second.
Well, it's like the Psycho thing where like we're left with Norman Bates. you know, after Marion Crane, and
he gets to justify this to
well, like
us.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. Like he's putting the car in like the bog in Psycho. He's putting the car in the bog, and the car like stops for a sec. He's like, "Oh no, he'll get caught." You know, it's like, but he's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
You know? I love movies that do this, but like, even before he gets killed, he's like, in fact, the only thing in this room that looks like Dickie is you. He's like, do you want to say something right now? He's like, I think I'm saying it.
I think I'm saying it.
It might be, I don't know, up there for Pish for me. It's so good.
And then as he's loading him into the car, he does that. It's almost like a last little nod.
Yes.
He's like, I can be fucking anybody. And he's like, that's what his wife thinks. You see how much I've been drinking.
Yeah.
Or like whatever he says.
Yeah, he's like, he says it earlier, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because he says it when he walks up to the table or whatever, his initial meeting with him. And then he brings that back around and you're just like, man, he can just play this off however he wants. He is very good at this.
Yeah.
And he's too confident now because this is when he literally has pulled off the perfect crime. The only person that probably could have figured this out was Freddy. Freddy's gone. He could literally just go back to being Tom Ripley and leave.
Yeah.
Even the detectives are here questioning Tom Ripley, like he could get out of here. He could end this whole thing.
Right.
But he just thinks that he's going to pull this whole thing off.
Yeah.
And he keeps going. And which is ultimately going to be the demise of Tom, the fact that he keeps going with this. When he could either give up or he could just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Even the shot when the detectives like, hey, Marge is here, she wants in. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let her in.
Screw it. I'm done with this. Like, I can't handle
ready.
it. Yeah.
Because you've been in those situations where even like one little white lie maybe that you've told in your life somehow comes back around a couple times and you're like, I could either admit that I told this stupid little white lie or just keep going with it. And it becomes this weight of 1,000 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The littlest lie you might tell in your life to where this, you can't imagine what this probably feels like to Tom Ripley.
Oh yeah, yes, because you're right. Because this is what makes it so interesting as this like character piece is because like that feeling of the weight being lifted off of you is so good. Like there's the Casey Anthony thing. She kept up the lie until she was arrested, like, because she was working at Disneyland or Disney World or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, well, there's the cops were like on, like, with her, and they're like, what's going on?" And she like took them through like the back places of Disney, and like, it's over here. She didn't work there. Sorry, she was just like acting like she did. She's like, yeah, hi. She's like saying hi to people who she didn't even know, and like, what the fuck? And like she like literally came to a dead end. She's like, you know what? I actually don't work here. Like just keeping this like psychopathic lie going, and just keeping it going. It's got to be so much, rather than just telling the truth.
Yeah, how exhausting.
If they would have let her in, and it would have all fallen apart there, and he would have gone to jail for the rest of his life, it would have been better than the way this movie ends.
Yes,
because he's done even worse. And now he could either give it up, having already done worse, or he's just going to continue to live the worst, most lonesome life that anyone could ever live. When he could have just gone to jail for life and been like, you know what, I feel better about it.
Make some friends in jail.
Yeah, we make some friends. So it's fucking wild. And then there's that shot. You keep pointing out shots that I missed, but the one I picked up on was that the cover of the piano comes down.
It's so good.
And the face splits into two.
He
You're
puts
like,
the glasses on. Now he's not like Dickie is gone now, and now
He's gone.
it's Tom. You know, because he sheds it finally.
Yeah.
He sheds it. He's kind of out at this point until Meredith shows up at the end.
God,
that
she
shot
shows
is
up
so
again.
good, dude. You're so right. I fucking love that.
unbelievable, man. And then you got this is okay. So he's written the suicide letter at this point, right? Because this is where he's going to get away with. There's no Dickie anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Is that where we're at in this one?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That shot. That's all I want to say. I just wanted to go. I kept thinking something else. I'm like, I want to go back to that shot.
It's incredible. It's just the perfect metaphor of, like, you know, you see it kind of in the reflection earlier on of them both on the train, but then like this is just Matt Damon as both characters splitting into it's everything.
Are we at the moment with when he's
This
trying
is
to
where
kill
Marge. Yeah, this is where that.
so it's like she kind of figures this thing out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in a towel." Like, "Oh, you go." It's like, and then he grabs that knife, and he's just advancing towards her, and this is a good suspense moment.
Oh yeah.
This is really good, and like you don't think of this movie as like it's obviously it's not like slasher style or anything like that. But this is good suspense, thriller suspense right here. That you're just like, man, it could be like this could be the end for Marge. And then Peter walks in.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you don't realize how suspenseful this moment is until he walks through the door.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the
When
thing.
she
You're
backs
just like,
up to the wall. Shit.
like I realized it was like my second watch or something that I was watching this. Even my second watch on doing it, and I was like, door opens, like, and I breathed again.
It's almost like The Shining in a way, where he's like backing her up the stairs in The Shining. And
Yeah.
even earlier when he just kills Dickie and comes back to Marge, he's staring at her for a second. He's like, "Marge." She's like, "Oh, you scared me." It's like the scene in The Shining where he's like, "How do you like it?"
Yeah.
And she's looking at the typewriter or whatever. That was like really cool. It reminded me of that, like the same kind of suspense level as that for sure. Speaking of that, what do we think about our friend Gwyneth in this?
Oh,
She's great because up until now she just feels like the quintessential like rich American girl that's just always happy and just wants to be around, and it sucks. She's really in love with Dickie, but she's kind of handling it fairly well. But this is when I think it makes the most to me. It means the most to me on how she performs it is when she turns cold. Mm-hmm. It shows the depth of that character, because up until now she was just Marge.
yeah.
Everybody loves Marge.
Everybody loves Marge. She makes a great martini.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
So get your hindquarters in there, Margie. Make us up some martinis.
Because even before this, it continues the unlikableness of Tom Ripley. The way he's talking to Peter and he's playing the bass piano and he's talking about you ever like have a basement and like your feelings are there and you can never go down there, but you want to bring people down there. Like, I just want to fucking punch him in the face. And then he goes to Marge. The next day he's like, "Hey, Marge," and she's just like,
Yeah.
He's completely lost any bit of like power that he's had. It's gone, and he is grasping for it. And that's where I love that Marge figures it out.
Yeah.
But there's this underlying theme of like women can't figure it
It's
out.
the misogyny of it.
Dude,
Greenleaf, Herbert is just like, you're being hysterical.
You're being
honey."
hysterical. We're gonna have to take you back and give you a lobotomy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck,
Exactly.
dude? It's the 50s, parlance of the times.
he says two different things. He says, listen, what a man may say to his sweetheart as opposed to his pals is totally different.
Yeah.
And there's female intuition, and then there are facts. What the fuck? Because she knows, dude.
Brutal.
Meredith knows. Everyone, these women know, and they're going to get to be alive because he knows that none of these women will be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's crazy.
It's like it is like he's playing on top of it. James Rebhorn plays this very well of just like shutting her down.
Oh.
Like him coming back into this too. Well, I don't know if we're there
let's
yet,
let's move on to it unless
Okay.
you got something else with that.
no, that's good.
Last scene, with the help of Dickie's shady past and some strategic lies, Tom convinces Dickie's father and a private investigator that Dickie took his own life. In a twist of fate, Tom even inherits a large portion of Dickie's trust fund. Tom enjoys a luxurious cruise with his new lover, Peter, but trouble looms when Meredith, who still believes Tom is Dickie, boards the same ship. Realizing he can't let Peter and Meredith cross paths, Tom tragically strangles Peter and dumps his body overboard.
Philip Baker Hall is this private investigator.
Oh, God.
Like I especially being played by Philip Baker Hall, I'm like, oh, he's fucked. You know?
Well, can you explain to me? Because he understands that this has all been a fucking lie, right? Like, he's smart enough to know, like, I found a Tom Ripley that was a janitor at a music hall. They know that he lied and never went to Princeton.
Yeah.
Are we really, like, that's where it confuses me a little bit about the dad. Maybe the dad secretly wanted his son to go away.
I think it's a version of that.
Like, it's done. It actually makes his life better in a way. So who fucking cares?
Because I'm sure the private investigator found out that like he impregnated that woman.
Yes,
and
he
so
did.
like this being out that my son is not like what an heir should be would be uncouth for the general public to find out about the Greenleaf name. We can't have this.
So
you know?
even though we know Tom Ripley's probably not who he says he is and may have some fucked up shit having to deal with this, we're fine with it as long as we can bribe him to never say anything.
yeah, cover up.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that's the way it felt. He doesn't. It's better off to just not have Dickie's stuff come to light. I can continue on with the boat making.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You know, it's wash it all under, push it all under the rug. Let's just tie this up. And even in the letter though too, he says he kind of makes those nods of like giving himself a lot of praise, like, you know, you're more of like the son that my dad probably wanted, and I'm not. And this stuff that happened with Freddie, because doesn't he in the letter he admits to killing Freddie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So again, another thing they don't want to come to
Son
light.
committed murder, impregnated a woman he wasn't married to.
Yeah.
Like, we can't let anyone know about this.
We need
stuff.
all this to go away, and then that, like, sure, James Rebhorn, like, or you know, Mr. Greenleaf, he may have been like, yeah, you know, you're like the son I never had, so here's half of that in trust fund.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, here's half that trust fund to not talk about this anymore. That's it.
And we don't care. We don't want to know anything else beyond this.
Yeah.
We figured out everything we needed. We're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he
And
even
we're
says
not
he's
listening to
like,
And we're not listening to Marge.
yeah, he's
You
like,
can count on that.
and then he has the private investigator has like some like records or something of some kind. He's instructed me to have these destroyed by the end
And we're
of the
going
day.
to throw the license plates in the bay.
In the bay. Yeah. The license plates. That's
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just like, it's a cover up at this point.
It's crazy. I mean, and then you get to this, I guess, culminating scene on the boat.
Because at this point, he's gotten away with it. Like, life is awesome.
Yeah,
for
like
Tom Ripley.
He's now Tom Ripley. He shedded Dickie completely. He got paid to be Dickie, pretty much, and is living with Kingsley.
He did it.
Yeah,
He did it.
and then Meredith shows up.
Again, go back. That's the worst move he made, was
Yep.
telling her that he was Dickie Greenleaf.
And he knows too. It's so good to see him like simultaneously try and like play the part and be like, "Fuck," you know.
You know what line kills me is when she goes, are you here with anybody? No, I'm alone.
Yeah,
He knows at that point that unless he can pull off a miracle, Peter's dead.
yeah.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Because like Peter's like the only probably person that he's been real with. That he might be the only person that knows who Tom Ripley is.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me of like, how much at one point I literally thought that like he divulged a lot of this even to
I think he wanted to.
Peter.
But at least he could act like himself, sort of like.
Yeah.
Maybe Peter doesn't know some of the things he's done, but he can be himself.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks about the ending, because you're like, dude, as much as I don't like you, like at least maybe you can turn some things around here.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say like he can be himself now. He's like, what are some things you like about Tom Ripley speaking as himself in the second person, but like having Peter tell him great things about him while also killing him is like literally killing what he is because he doesn't like himself.
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah.
Like this is it. He's moved on into complete and utter chaos. He'll never be the same.
Yeah, and now he's now he's Dickie until he can figure this out, which probably never.
Well, which we don't know. I'm sure the book tells you what happens afterwards, but like what do we think happens after this? Because now he has to pretend like he's Dickie.
I think the book makes it so he gets away with everything.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But this like I'm saying, it's that anxiety of just like, fuck, I gotta go back to this. I gotta figure all this out. Where it's just like, but the truth, it seems so much easier than that, man. Like,
You've
oh
gotten
my
so
God.
far. The truth is just is going to be better, bro.
Yeah.
Now you're going to dump this body overboard tonight. Like, because what are you going to do with that? I mean, like you just got all this shit you got to fucking deal with.
And the fact that Peter saw him kiss her. It's just like, dude, you're so fucked.
Yeah, that was like that. I think that was like the nail in the coffin. It's kind of one of the things that I read. Like, had Peter not seen it, it was like a test or something. He said, "I just want us to stay in here the rest of the trip."
Yeah.
And it's just like, well,
Yeah, but
it's
they're
how you
doing
kiss him.
karaoke tonight on deck 5.
Yeah, and it's 2 for 1s.
Oh, fuck.
Like,
They're
that's
doing
all-
the pool. They're gonna have a big pool party tomorrow. What are we doing?
Yeah, like I bought this floaty for the pool party.
Babe, we got the all inclusive so that we could do the VIP events. That's what you wanted to do. You said you wanted to ride the water slides.
You said you wanted to be at all the VIP events where Meredith would be with her friends because they're VIPs. But that was like the final nail where he's like trying to figure it out almost. It's like, and he hears that, and that's when he kind of reaches for that tie or scarf or whatever
thing,
it is, and he's just like, that's when he reaches for it, and there it is. You're just like, wow, and it's a conflicting scene because you think, the question of the sexuality and stuff like that throughout, like especially him like cuddling Dickie after he killed him, another sadistic weird thing. But then him having these like very feeling like real feelings coming out while he's doing this is just like, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like every part of you is gone now. Like nothing exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jack Davenport was great in that role.
Captain
Really
Norrington.
Yes, he was.
Captain Norrington from Pirates of the Caribbean.
man.
Heck yeah.
Always
dude.
getting
yeah,
fucking
that's
shit
right.
on.
Yeah, I know.
He's never coming out winning.
Nope. But and I love him in this. I actually too.
He's really
I
good.
like him in everything he does.
Yeah.
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've got a really good punchable face. It's the very beginning when he's trying to take a sneak peek at the opera. And he's looking through the curtain, and that fucking bitch turns around and goes, "Stop looking!"
What are you doing?
Jacking her in the face. Let the man watch 5 seconds of your precious opera.
What else? The piano's being played. He's not tuning it right now. What else is he supposed to do? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, sometimes you can be ushers at plays and watch the fucking show.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a perk. Okay.
You got any?
It's called fringe benefits, bitch. God damn.
Mine is Ripley singing.
Oh, my Bloody Valentine?
Yeah.
Or
My Bloody Valentine.
whatever. My
And tears don't fall. Dude, it's like
it creeps me out.
I'm like, ugh.
Ew.
Do you got one? I got a lovable while you're thinking of it.
By the way, Matt Damon learned the piano for this movie, and Jude Law learned the saxophone.
It comes off pretty well.
Yeah, definitely.
So this might be. It might just be because of like the naive aspects of it, but my punchable might be Meredith.
No, you can't, man.
Because you're just like every time she shows up, she is just like so in this world of it's just like Dickie, I'm just like fuck.
She doesn't do that to like a lower level person that she met.
No.
You know, she's like, oh my God, another rich person.
Another Richie, thank God.
Finally, I can be myself.
Thank God. I've been among all these plebes down here for God knows how long. It's just like, fuck.
Lovable Face is the first detective.
Oh,
Yeah.
I really like that guy a
Yes.
lot. He seems pretty kind.
He was really good. There's a scene he has where he's like, oh, sorry, my English isn't too good. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Your English is actually bothering me. Like the words you're using are bothering me. And he like looks him up and down. He's like, okay, I think I figured you out.
Yeah,
It was a
exactly.
really good touch. I loved it.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a prop.
We got a couple from the old Little Lebowski Urban Achievers. Walter Fielding wants Dickie's sunglasses. More towards the beginning. That's a great pair of sunglasses.
Ooh.
Devin Carlisle wants Dickie's sailboat. I mean, you can have
Nice.
it, but good luck
Respect.
finding a place to put that and the upkeep on sailboats. Jesus. I would love, and so would Alex Navarro, I want the bloody head statue.
Nice.
Which, by the way,
great one.
did you pick up on that? Of course, no one would ever know this unless you saw facts on it. But the statue itself was a bust of Emperor Hadrian. Emperor Hadrian had an obsessive affair with the Greek Antinous, who died under mysterious circumstances while sailing, possibly killed by the emperor in a fit of rage. So you know that back then, people know their history. So Tom Ripley was sadistic enough to know that, and that's why he specifically got that bust.
Jesus.
To be like, I did that.
He bought
I am
that.
the emperor now.
It's his own little inside joke that he can look at whenever he wants in his fancy new apartment.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Dickie's rings.
Oh,
You're a ring guy.
Dang
I'm
it.
a ring guy.
You are a ring man. Well, that's a good one. I want. I think I do. Because I like hanging these types of things on the walls for some odd reason. I'm like, oh, that looks neat up there, and it's the paddle that he kills Dickie with.
Nice.
And it's just with the blood on it and everything, and just like put it up there. It'd go right up there, just right across.
That's a deep cut to be like, if
Yeah.
you know what this prop is,
is that-
you know movies.
Was that from Jaws? No.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Is that Great Outdoors? No, never mind.
Nice try.
Porn names?
I do got a porn name. Do you got one?
Yeah, I got one.
I bet it's the same. You go first.
I bet it's not.
Go.
The Talented Mrs. Lippy.
Ooh.
How about the talent?
If Lippy liked sucking dick.
Miss Lippy likes sucking dick.
Thank you.
How about the talented Mr. Dick Me?
Okay.
You get it? Because
he's talented at it.
he's fucking dicks him.
Yeah, dude.
I was going to say the
Fucking dick.
phallic Mr. Dicking.
Yep.
Good stuff. Guys.
Well, we have dissected the talented Mr. Ripley
That was
with
a
a
pee-pee.
modern eye. Time to give it a modern rating. Sean, I'm going to start with you. What were your thoughts doing the confused breakfast treatment on this?
Revisiting this, it was a treat, and I found more stuff as I watched it more. I think I will continue to like this movie more every time I see it. However, this movie is also not a late night movie for me because I found myself nodding off sometimes here and there. But this is like a perfect Saturday morning sort of watch. You're hungover, you know. So this is I think such a great mystery. The acting is so good. Like I said, I think it's Matt Damon's best performance, one of Jude Law's best, one of Gwyneth's best, one of Pish's best. It's like, man, how can you get any better than this? The setting is a beautiful, and the filmmaking is incredible. I've really loved this movie, but I do think that it does suffer from being a little long.
Yeah.
Is my kind of gripe with it. I'm gonna give it a 7.8. 7.88.
7.88. AJ, what about you?
What's the movie with what's the Hollywood movie that we did? We did with the
The Player.
The Player. That's what it is. I was trying to. Do I have that on here? Okay, good. I do. So I find these in that kind of a same vein because we're kind of watching along with the person who should be an antagonist,
That's a good comparison.
portrayed
Yeah, that is.
as a protagonist.
Yeah.
And like you find yourself rooting for the wrong people, all like, even though there's really nobody to really root for, there's usually one person in these movies that is worth rooting for. And or hoping for, I guess, having any sort of like, non ill will, I guess. But so that's kind of my big comparison, and I think they kind of fall in the same idea. Like Tom Ripley is not a hero. Dickie Greenleaf is not a victim necessarily, and everyone in between is honestly like just kind of pawns or pieces of the game to both of them, I believe. And so I think it's a really fun movie. I'll be honest with you, listening to you guys talk about like some of the more of like the shots that happened and stuff made me appreciate that a lot more. Because there are just times where I'm just like, I'm trying. But I think that I'm going to probably, I don't think that I like this quite as much as The Player, even though I think that some of the performances are amazing in this. So, but I don't think that that's going to salvage it enough for me. So I'm going to give this a 7.8.
Nice.
7.8. Sometimes it happens when you haven't really seen a movie where it just doesn't live up to expectations. Sometimes it blows it away. I absolutely love this movie. The anxiety of people lying and having to keep up their lies just makes me anxious for a fun roller coaster ride. I have the same complaints you guys do of like, it is a little bit long. I personally loved the Dickie scenes the most. So when he leaves, you're kind of like, okay, but it's still really awesome. And there's so many underlying features of just like cool shots that you never get until you really focus on it. I feel like it's kind of endlessly watchable. I'm going to give it an 8.25.
Wow.
Starling says, I've never fully appreciated this movie until a couple of years ago when I was visiting Positano. My friend living there pointed to the building where it was written, and I now understand that Positano was the inspiration for the town in this movie. Watching it now, I realize I never appreciated the Italian setting the way I do now. The villas and beaches along the rustic cafes. Watching it again now, the movie is pure travel porn with Italy seducing us to come visit.
Totally.
The Amalfi Coast looks like heaven, and somewhat their lives in town seem somehow their lives in town seem somewhat attainable. Matt Damon plays Tom Ripley, a guy who could have been a decent, cultured person if the world had just loved him a little more. Instead, he's a nobody who borrows a Princeton jacket one night to play piano at a party. That tiny lie that sets off a chain reaction that ruins absolutely everyone in this movie's lives. This whole movie is what happens when you tell one lie that needs to be covered by a bigger lie. Tom didn't need to lie to his dad or Meredith. His insecurity around wealth led him to lie for no reason. Typically in a story about lies, people keep telling bigger and bigger lies. But here, Tom tells consistent lies, but it's him and his consequences that get bigger and bigger. The biggest hurdle I have to get over in this story is accepting Herbert Greenleaf is paying Tom to find Dickie and convince him to come home. A, why would Tom be someone who could convince Dickie to come back? B, aren't you holding the purse strings, Dad? Cut them. I have to assume this family is old money with family trusts involved, so I can move past that. But this reminds me of families who talk about spoiled children while feeding the beasts with more money and privilege. Of course, nothing is simple when you've tasted the good life, especially when it looks like Dickie. Dickie is everything Tom isn't. Rich without guilt, charming without effort, beautiful without trying. You can't fake being Dickie Greenleaf. It's in your blood. And Tom, for all his mimicry and ambition, can never truly hide the whiff of desperation he carries like cheap cologne. If you ever go to a country club, the wealthy are the worst dressed. It's the plus ones who dress nicely to fit in. And Dickie and Freddie smell it immediately. They can tell from the first second they meet. They are free-spirited jazz, and Tom is structured classical music. Every time Tom tries to blend in, Dickie seems to get cooler by comparison. Tom isn't just jealous. He's obsessed to the point of embarrassment. Can we talk about when Tom watches Dickie and Marge through the binoculars when they jump off the boat? Have you ever looked at someone and just thought to yourself, they're so good looking. We've lived in two completely different worlds. That's me looking at June and Gwyneth. They look like two blonde, golden-haired angels in that scene. So beautiful. They're glowing in the sun. There's a fun and heartbreaking moment when Tom, left alone in Dickie's villa, puts on Dickie's clothes, parades around dancing. Tom's having fun for a moment, but once Dickie catches him, it turns to humiliation very quickly. This was the rare moment of Tom having fun, letting his guard down. We only see him being vulnerable when playing the piano. His only sense of confidence is in those moments. From there, things darken. Every word Tom says starts to sound creepy. Every laugh feels too long, too forced. Every glance at Dickie is too lingering. And then comes the real turning point. It's one thing to be humiliated, another to be discarded entirely when you realize. Tom realizes Dickie is done with him. Tom commits an irreversible act, and everything afterwards is just improvisation. Lies now require action. I guess they should have let him go on that ski trip, eh? I find myself switching between almost rooting for Tom if he weren't so unsettling, but that's the genius of Damon's performance. You're trapped with him. Even when you hate him, you pity him a little. All Tom Ripley ever wanted was to belong. Today, he would have been the scam influencer posting pics from fake private planes, but on the bright side, no one would be dead. The final scenes are a masterclass in slow devastation. Just when you think Tom might have finally gotten away with money, love, security, the cracks start to show again, because getting what you want doesn't mean the con is over. It just means you have to lie harder, better, faster, forever. The talented Mr. Ripley isn't just about crime. It's about how envy rots you from the inside. It's about how even in paradise, you can be trapped in your own miserable little golden cage. He'll never really be Dickie, but he'll die trying. I love this movie. Every actor's firing on all cylinders. Matt Damon plays creepy and pathetic Tom so well, but I realize how Jude Law is completely underrated. He's so good in this, you would almost think he improvised. Yeah, that's the word. Improvised many scenes. Gwyneth is charming and beautiful, and you can see how all these stars were just at the beginning to rise, and they were about to be cemented Hollywood A-list forever. This movie is a 8.5. I'll keep watching it over and over.
Well done, Starling. Damn.
Starling, that's a great analysis, buddy.
Yeah.
That takes us to an 8.11 as a group.
Wow.
Which is going to put this pretty high on the list, my friends. 8.11 is going to put it tied with Happy Gilmore and Last Action Hero in the 52nd spot. We do think it's not as good as Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Raising Arizona and Fargo, but we do think it's better than The Matrix, Field of Dreams, and My Cousin Vinny.
Wow. Yeah.
Do we?
I think it's well suited in there.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it fits.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. We are in May of Damon. We got some movies coming up. We got Born Identity. We got the Departed. We got more. You're going to love it. And if you're new to this podcast, go back this time last year. One of my favorite episodes we did, Donnie Darko. It's a good time.
It was a good one.
Nice one.
And thanks to Brian on the controls. We are here at Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com. Check out our network, Cloud 10, cloud10.fm. That's it for us.
Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. I love you so much. Goodbye.
See you in Manji.
Thanks again for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube here in the studio, hanging out with us live and in person in the studs. Check us out on social media. Search for Confused Breakfast at Confused Breakfast anywhere on social media. And please leave us a review. 5 stars on any platform that you're listening on. Write us a comment on Spotify or an Apple Podcast. Write us a review. We love to read them.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the merch that we have. You can see the shirts. We have new shirts up there. It's awesome. I believe it. You can go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the ratings of the movies that we have covered. You can see AJ's ratings. You can see Mike's ratings. And you can see my ratings and the show's ratings overall. Goodbye. I love you.
Thanks to Brian on the controls here at Upload Media Group. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com and learn more about our network Cloud 10 at cloud10.fm. We love you so much. Go on to the next video.